Today, we've got a very special edition of the Trainer HQ podcast. We're going to be delving into Trainer HQ and the history of our marketing and our lead generation strategies over the last almost 20 years of running this business. We've invited in our Meta Ads expert, that's Rev. That's a person who champions all of our marketing initiatives to give his insights on what it's like to work with us and what's been working in terms of best practice strategies, tactical methodologies, and things that you could potentially implement into your business, which could make a big difference to your marketing game plan. So tune in, enjoy the ride, and we'd love to unpack for you how Trainer HQ does it from a marketing and lead generation perspective.
Say someone sees an ad from THQ and they click on the ad. They go, yeah, these guys seem like they know what they're talking about. They put in their contact details. What happens next?
You want to lead?
Sure. The first thing that will happen is they'll get some type of autoresponder, something to indicate that their request has been submitted. But then typically, as soon as possible, our appointment setter is going to be calling them in an attempt to have a conversation and see if there's some other way we can help them.
Yeah.
So that's typically the first process that takes place. How
fast is the appointment setter?
That's a good question. He's out the front room. We should go get him. But I'd say that, if a lead inquiry came in over the weekend, first thing Monday morning, they'll be getting followed up with. So, but if it's during the week, it's pretty instant, same day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there a tactical amount of times that appointment setter contacts them, or?
Good question. Like in terms of how many times he would reach out, I'd say between 6 to 7 is our normal new lead inquiry funnel.
Yep.
So from the time the lead come in, he'll attempt with SMS and call at least 7 or 8 times, and then they will go into our nurture after that. So if he can't get a hold of them after trying to reach out 7 or 8 times, then they'll go into our nurture campaign.
7 or 8 times in the first day?
Not the first day, but within a period of a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he might double dial. He'll probably double dial the first time.
We'd love a double dial.
Yeah, but he wouldn't call 7 or 8 times one day.
Yeah.
And then also checking in on socials, because a lot of people will also follow us on Instagram as well. So it's like, okay, cool. So maybe there's a connection there between the lead, the person's details, and their Instagram profile inside our CRM. We can see that as well. So that could be phone call, SMS, DM. So I guess we look for, all right, where is this person, and for some people that they would already be in our database, but they might opt in again 3, 6 months later, 12 months later. And so we get to see that person re-engage with us, and we get to see what history they've got.
Yeah. And some people go and join the Facebook community group, because that's one of the first things that they will get. Hey, in the meantime, go and join our community. So we get to see all that, where they go after the initial inquiry. But back to our CRM, you're talking about, if we all put in our inquiries today, we've all called, our appointment setter couldn't get a hold of them, you would then get moved to the day 2. So from day 1 to day 2, to day 3, all the way through. And hopefully somewhere in amongst that, we've had a conversation. It's rather they were booked in for a blueprint or discovery call first and then a blueprint, or again, they moved to day 4 or day 5 because we haven't got a hold of you yet. So it's a pretty thorough process to get a yes, no, or whatever.
What does a blueprint entail? What is that?
The first thing is the discovery call, and that's what Pete does. And the discovery call is just really to see if what they're wanting help with, we can provide that level of service and solution. So that's the discovery call. And the reason being is Pete's not going to put anyone with us who's not pre-qualified. So the whole job of the discovery call is to firstly see if we can help them. What is their problem? And can we provide a solution? And are they looking for help? If those requirements are met, then they get booked in with the blueprint with either Brad or myself at this stage. And we call 2 parts. So there's 2 parts to our blueprint, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is for us to assess, yes, they are a good candidate and they are someone that we can help. And they got to fill out a business analysis first, and that tells us their current situation, current revenue, sessions, their challenges, what do they need help with, where are their ambitions in the next, 30 days, 90 days, and then 12 months. And so we go into that part 1 blueprint with all this information prior to speaking to somebody.
It's an interesting point. I imagine it's pretty important for fitness trainers to do something similar with not just taking on anyone.
Yeah, exactly. So we know, I call them red flags or green flags. We know the combination and the right question to ask to see if they're going to be a good fit or not. But we talk about it for our clients that having a pre-rec in terms of how does someone fit into your ideal candidate or client is really important to have.
And even that terminology of appointment setter, although that's the role of that person, it's not just to set an appointment. It is, as Jason alluded to, it's a discovery, right? So it's like at that point in time, our philosophy is like, let's reach out and let's see if this person does need help. Are they looking for help? At that stage, we've got no idea if what we do is of interest to them or we can help them at this stage. But that discovery is so critical to ascertain that, and that can happen pretty quickly. Because if someone's in there and they're just purely looking to get some information or content or whatever, that's fine. Happy days, right? But we also know there's a percentage of people that are looking for help. And so then that's his job to figure that part out.
That's so fascinating to me. Like I can only imagine so many, let's say, newly established PTs, fitness coaches, and everyone else in between who just... the mindset is, I need to put money in the bank now. I'll take anyone. And I did that back in the day. I did that with advertising back in the day. Like, how do you coach someone out of that?
Well, it boils down to, I think for some people, you've got to maybe have the experience of going, I've just had way too many like tire kickers and time wasters and people that I thought might have been a potential client, but they weren't. So it's like, I'd much rather spend 10, 15 minutes, whatever it took up front to figure out that I'm not the best fit for somebody. And so I'm speaking from our business perspective. I'm speaking if you're a personal trainer, a fitness coach, online coach or whatever, invest some time up front to decide, okay, is it actually worth taking this person through to the next stage? Because again, that first call, you're not there to sell. What you are there to do is to establish, okay, cool, what does this person need? What are their fears, concerns, frustrations? What are their wants, desires? And can I actually ethically help them? Can I provide a solution? And then we go through more pre-qualification to go, is it worthwhile going to that next stage?
And to answer your question about coaching people, I might say to a trainer, who's your best clients? Like, who are they? Like, what do they do for work? What are their values? What do you like about them? Are they good payers? Never whinge about that. They don't cancel. They're in a corporate job. They just start to describe that ideal client. So, and they go, and who are the clients you despise? Who are the clients that you just go, rather throw myself off the building than turn up and do the session? And even if they paid me $3,000 a session, I still wouldn't want to train them.
Not worth it.
And then I go, well, now you identified, what is it about that person that you don't like as a client? Maybe not them personally, but why aren't they a good client?
That line of questioning, do you think it's easier for them to describe who they don't want or who they do want?
What they don't want.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely what they don't like. I think then it takes them more, really sitting and reflecting on the who's my ideal client. Then the easy ones is like, because they don't pay, they cancel all the time, they're always complaining. I think those things are more obvious.
When you guys are educating and teaching your clients, students, candidates, everyone in between, how to get more clients, do you find that it's easier to help them ideate who they don't want and advertise that way, let's say more pressing into pain, rubbing salt in the wound, or advertising the transformation, or a combination of both?
I think combination of both. I think combination is, the combination of both would be that way. But again, each coach that works with his client might try a different approach. But I believe if you know who your ideal client is, then talking about the solutions you provide is simpler. I think that's an easier process to go through and to teach now, especially with things like chat. To be able to put this in. Like when I started, I went to marketing conference after marketing workshop, big, thick books, trying to study how to do headlines, how to write benefit copy, where now I would be the first to admit that chat could do it way better and way faster. So that part's easier to teach.
I will say though that I'm glad you touched on it. Copywriting, I think, is like human copywriting. I think is the number one skill for marketing and advertising. I put a lot of thought into it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, this is it, because your copywriting writes good scripts, helps you ideate, helps you extract the expert skill you're going to push out in an ad and everything else in between. And that's the foundation. That's where it starts.
Yeah, you look back at the skill set from a marketing point of view. When we launched this business, and in 2007, we paid $3,000, didn't we, for a single page website, a single page landing site page, and with a copywriter who was skilled. He spent a week doing it, right?
Oh, probably longer, I reckon. It might have been close to a month by the time he actually got it done. Maybe not a month.
And this thing was bomb, you know what I mean? And it fucking sold, right?
Yeah.
But you look at that now and you go, wow, that's the type of stuff that can get done much quicker and so forth. Having said that, you still need to have the knowledge and the education to know what you're looking for, to know the structure behind it, because chat could spit out anything. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you go, okay, cool, but it could be a bunch of shit, right? So,
unfortunately, ChatGPT is a bit of a yes man.
Yeah,
you know, just tell you look good, you sound good, you're good.
And even when I pick up on what you're talking about, because I go, that's not how that particular copywriter would sound at all. I go, man, that's, oh yeah, you're right. It's like, good call, good catch, Jason.
It's like, this is your job. You're the AI.
That's right. Good catch, Jason. I go, once again, it's a good catch. So
the analogy for any fitness professional is that, let's say you're asked to spit out a workout program. And if you are well technically trained and skilled in a certain area, and you sort of spit something out, and you go, no, that's mostly good. It's 80% good, but it's not 100% there. That's the analogy, you know, and that's why still having the knowledge and the education in this area is so critical.
Yeah, you want to have that knowledge, because you want to understand. You don't just want to have chat doing. You don't truly understand the psychology behind it or why you're doing it. You still want to have that there. It's just to assist you to do it faster, as we were talking about.
Yep.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I used to get a lot of these big, long YouTube, long form videos, and I used to transcribe them, throw them in the chat, and I was like, give me the brief summary points. And then some of the time I would go back and watch the whole video, and I was like, I've got the bullet points, but in terms of actioning them, I don't understand the full context. Similar.
Okay. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Coming back to the advertising side of things, you mentioned, like, because you guys have been doing this for 18 years.
Yeah. 2007 was the idea, the concept. You'd started coaching trainers before that. March 2008 was our very first live event that we ran, which was the official launch, so to speak, when we onboarded our first bunch of clients. Yeah.
Wow. Paid advertising from then till now. Well, walk me through it.
Well, I mean, there wasn't even.
Meta didn't even exist. I think
Facebook was out, but there was no advertising for a number of years after.
Yeah,
I remember thinking at the time, this fucking Facebook shit. I'm not even going to be using this shit. Hasn't that changed?
About 2012. But like, what were you doing for those 4 years?
We would, funny enough, we were doing mail outs.
No shit.
Yeah, was one thing. We would have a list of PTs. We were going to Melbourne. We would get a list of personal trainers, studios, and all that stuff, and we would do mail outs, and we built our seminars that way. We would go and do talks at gyms. So we'd go to like a Fitness First, Good Life, and we would teach an hour or 90-minute session, and then we'd sell in our workshop, and that's how we built the business back then. So we were still sell one to many. We weren't doing a lot of online advertising back then. It was all those different ways to do it. I remember our very first event, my wife at the time and her friend would go to, they were members of Fitness First, they'd go and get all the cards of all the trainers of all the different Fitness First, and then we had someone calling them.
Legit.
And booking them in. That's how we filled our first seminar with the landing, with the page that we talked about, having the copywriter drop them there, and that's how we filled. I think we had 50 people in that first event.
Yeah,
doing it that way.
We would leverage off colleges too. So, people that educate trainers, and we'd look for people who has your clients before you do and who's already got a list of people, and then find ways to create some sort of joint alliance there where we could promote something, give something away, a resource, whatever it might be. Back then, I remember I'd shot a CD, an audio CD. Kids wouldn't know what it is, but we used to have these things called CDs, right? And you'd put it in there, it would play sound, right? And I'd shot one prior to us kicking off, and because I was like, I want to lean into the idea of creating some information and educational resources and so forth. And I found a way to, we were giving it away to trainers and, whatever we could do to get that happening.
We also advertised in magazines, didn't we? I think we were Ultrafit.
We did.
Ultrafit magazines. We were running ads in mags back then as well.
What was the CTA in the magazine?
Well, it was, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but what we did was I would write for Ultrafit magazine, I'd write articles, fitness related articles, and then in exchange of that, they would give me, advertising space, and we would track our events, and, like we'd promote an event or whatever, and we'd track that. So couldn't tell you the CTA, hey.
But yeah, that was obviously a lot harder back then, and the speed to lead was a lot slower.
Yeah,
right.
Because of it.
Yeah,
but I'd say that, but the quality was probably better.
Yeah, we'd get resourceful too. So back to that now, just the mention of Ultrafit. So Ultrafit was a magazine back in the day. People would buy it from the news agent. They would go down to the big fitness convention, and this is before we really had the budget to have our own stand. We would leverage off those guys. So we go, okay, cool. Can we come down to the Ultrafit stand and be part of your stand and somehow help you guys promote what you're doing? And then meanwhile, have us an opportunity to collect these trainers' details. And they were like, yeah, so you mean you're going to come and work at our stand for 3 days for free and promote all of our stuff?
We would be signing up subscriptions to their magazines. So we were help selling Ultrafit magazine subscriptions. So you sign up and you get your monthly magazine. And that's how we got it. So it cost us nothing to be there. And we were good at selling, of course. So we would sell that plus get their details of the trainers, build relationships that way.
That is so gangster.
It was cool. And we just back then we were doing we were really the first to kick off coaching in the industry. There were other people coming up, but no one was prepared to do that legwork.
What made you write the book?
I had a connection with that, but I'd already written one in my. I was still in that business at the stage, the personal development business. So I had the idea from that. I think that's because I'd already written one book. And then Darren Stevens, who he had a business, he had a lot of business, but he had a business that was how to write a #1 bestseller. And so again, through the connection, and he was the guy responsible for Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus to be a great hit and be famous. So he's
no shit.
Yeah, he was partnered with Dr. John Gray for many years and helped build their coaching business up and all the rest of it. So yeah, so he had the strategy, because we go, if we're going to do a book, we don't want it to just be any old self-published book that sits in your garage collecting dust. We want it to be a #1 bestseller. So he had the strategy of how to be a #1 bestseller before it even hit the book stands. So it's pre-sold 5,000 books, which is what it took to be a #1 bestseller. So we just knew back then it was going to be a massive point of difference in our marketplace, because we know how hard it is to write a book, a decent book, but then also to get it as a #1 bestseller. So we just kept knowing that competition is going to come behind us. We just want to make it harder and harder for someone to even match us at that level, because you might be able to coach, but have you got a #1 best-selling book? Are you writing in magazines? Are you going to expos? We just created such a difference in what it would take for you to even match us at that level.
Such a gap.
Which I liked it back then, because it was harder back then to now because of social media. And it's easier for someone just to have the gift of the gab and learn some marketing, because marketing's one thing, being good at what you do is another. As we were talking about before, copy somebody's shit, but to get to be really efficient and be good at what you do is a totally different ball game. So yeah, all those things that's why we did it.
Yeah,
I mean, we had a lot of knowledge to share, and we knew that we wanted to get our information out to people we'd probably never work with. So there was a lot of reasons why we created the book. 20 plus years experience back then, we had a lot to share. And it was an amazing lead generation for us, because we'd give the book away if it meant getting a contact detail. And people aren't throwing away a book. They'll throw away your business card. But at these expos, when we had stands, we would sell our book. Or in some cases, we'd be happy to give it away, because the more hands that got got their hands on the book, the better for us.
Yeah, there's a whole strategy behind the best-selling formula. So right from the front cover to every single page, it's got a method behind it. Of course, heaps of quality content in there. You want to blow people away with great information, but it really effectively it's to help promote what you do. It costs $20,000 to get the books sorted, and we're going, all right, fuck, we don't have $20,000, but what we do have is industry connections. And so in the back of the book, if anyone has got an original copy of it, you can thumb through the back of it and you can see advertising, paid advertising from other industry connections. So how'd you get the $20,000? Well, we sold advertising space in the back of the book.
Solid.
Yeah. Even the case studies, so the success stories of clients of ours, they paid to be in the book as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they get that little plug by being success stories of yours.
Yep. Correct.
And then you've got your industry strategic partnerships, and that's covered everything.
Yeah. So it didn't cost us a cent to do the book.
Yeah. From their perspective, it's credibility, and it's like, cool. Now I'm positioned in this book of Australia's leading fitness professionals and so forth, and telling their story as well. So it's cool.
So you've got the strategic partnerships, you've got the contacting PTs directly, getting business cards, you've got the book, and then how you drive people to your landing page and then your workshops. What was like the next big thing in terms of marketing, advertising after those?
I think it was definitely online.
Yeah, it was definitely Facebook.
Yeah.
I think Facebook, when we were getting fucking $1 leads back in the day. Remember those days?
I remember teaching the whole concept of getting leads, and at that stage was like, I think $2.36 a lead.
Yeah.
And I had all the stats broken down of like, this is how many leads we'd get per month. This is what it would cost us per lead. And this is the conversion rate into a seminar and then into a client. So I'd share all these stats. Now those days are gone. But that was the next big thing for us. And back then it was, again, very little competition. So there wasn't many people in this space still doing it.
Do you feel like you guys were early to Facebook ads?
Yeah, we were definitely early. Yeah. I mean, as soon as it was available, we jumped on it.
Yeah. Do you find yourself always jumping on some type of paid media fairly quickly to like feel it out?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say over the years we've done a combination of, we do Google ads as well. So I feel like as soon as there's something that's been adopted, we're on it. Yeah.
And I guess test and measure. So it's like, all right, cool. Let's be prepared to give this thing a crack for 3 months and see if there's an end result, and see if this thing's got legs, and see what the CAC is, and how, is it leads, whatever it might be. So Google's a great example because we pay more. We pay about double on Google than we do on Meta for a lead. But we also see historically that we get less leads, but they are of higher quality and intent. Namely, someone's actually Googling for, hey, business coach for personal trainers.
Higher intent, yeah.
Yeah. And consequently, we see that. But it's also like it's a lower lead volume as well. So
I imagine, I wonder if you can remember what made you make the decision to try Facebook ads. Because I imagine just the same with every social platform. Like Facebook came along, everyone said it was for kids. Instagram came along, everyone said it was for, pretty pictures of food and for kids. TikTok came along, it's for kids who are dancing. You fast forward 5 years on each of those milestones and everyone's like, oh, you can grow a business there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember anything significant other than we just went, well, a way to reach now a more targeted audience just made sense. I think about it again. If you're not adaptable in business, you perish. And we'd seen that with other people who try to do what we do. They just didn't adapt or evolve from the old school ways of doing stuff. But I just imagine we would have seen it going, hell yeah. Like, if this is the way we can reach our clientele faster, quicker, more affordable, then shit, yeah, we're on it.
And when you guys first started, what was the vehicle you were using? Because I know you've still got a Facebook group. Like, was the ad driving people somewhere off-site? Was it driving people to a Facebook? Like, do you remember what the first funnel looked like?
It would have been the book, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've always had landing pages, so we've always done a sales page, and it might be depends on what we're promoting, but we've been heavily driving people towards education and resources. So I guess in many ways it's like educate first. Let's show them what we can do by sharing some of our intellectual property and information with them. could be the book, could be a marketing piece, could be something else.
Because when we started the business, Brad was still running his business. I had my other business going. So that's why the seminar model was effective for us, so we could do one to many. So we didn't switch over to promoting other stuff for, I don't know, I can't remember when that changed, but we would have been promoting our seminars, that we would have been running ads primarily to promote, because we were doing a seminar every month pretty much. At one point we were running 16 a year. So we had our version of appointment setter, or our sales guy then, that would make the calls to book and sell seminar tickets at, we had different pricing, but maybe $297
Yep.
for the event. So that would have been what we would have been promoting heavily at the start. Lead gen, I can't remember when we started doing things that weren't related to the seminar, but we would have been promoting the seminar via the Facebook ads to start with. That would have been our first ads.
Gotcha. And then after that, I imagine it might have been a lead magnet of some description.
Yeah.
I mean, we did promote the book. So the book was definitely a lead magnet.
Yeah. Book probably came out in 2010, I reckon. It was pretty early on in the piece. If we did our first workshop in 2008, I reckon 2010.
I remember we went to the States to promote and launch it.
We went to HRSA. Yeah.
That was 2012, I think.
Yeah.
And then lead magnet, was it a similar vehicle or funnel or process as to what it is now? Like grab contact details, appointment setter, or someone follows up, has a quick discovery call, see if they're a good fit, see if we can help them. We have a solution for you.
Yeah,
that kind of jazz.
Yeah, it's always been very similar in that approach. Yeah.
Did you guys ever start doing webinars? Oh, sorry. When did you start doing webinars? I know you do webinars.
Man, many years. I mean, I'm just trying to think of when we launched that, but definitely I remember having Go-To Webinar, which was one of the first iterations of a webinar service. I mean, it's got to be a couple of years after we launched, right?
Good memory. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I remember running them as promo webinars back then. So, yeah, man, you're stretching us now.
I remember before webinars doing the tally conferences as well. People had the phone call in on the phone. It was all done by a tally conference. That was pre-webinar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you'd have fucking 100 odd people on a
phone call. Yeah.
Yeah. No visuals, no nothing. It was just the tally. Yeah. And you'd be doing educating.
That's so gangster.
Yeah.
And then, so after the tele calls and then the webinars, like when you guys shifted, I imagine you took some of the learnings from in-person workshop seminars and tried to apply them into the first webinar. Like, what was that like?
Again, I'll probably struggling to remember what we.
Well, I mean, back then, keeping back to the live workshops that we would do, right? It was a 2-day event, 4 times a year in Brisbane, 4 times a year in Sydney, 4 times a year in Melbourne, Perth. Like we'd fly all around the countryside to do them, and then most of our, like, say, we go to a gym, we go to a Fitness First, and they've got 30 trainers there. We would be there offering some information and content. And then on the back end of it going, if you like the sound of this, come and join us at the next 2-day event, which is a month away in your town, right?
Yep.
And then of that, we'd sell out of 30 trainers. We might sell, 20 of them to come to the event or whatever. So that was that. And then therefore the webinars also reflected that as well. So we'd be our
1 hour.
Our most of our marketing push was to get people to the seminar, and that was really the way we grew the business for many years there. So very, very little in terms of, hey, come and sign up directly to coaching. Very much so push them into the seminar to go come and spend 2 days with us and listen to all our methodology and our concept and so forth. And on the back end of that, we'd make an offer to come and join the coaching program.
Gotcha. So those 3 steps, like most of it is some form of a lead magnet, whether it's in person at a jet or wherever it is. Like, hey, we've got this 2-day workshop. That's step 2. They come and get more value, and it's like, hey, if you want to really take it to the next level, we have this coaching program.
Yeah. And then somewhere in that journey, we must have been 5-6 years into the journey thereabouts, where we went, okay, well, we don't want to have a business that's relying upon Jason and Brad flying around the countryside 15 odd times a year. What we want to do is we want to start to change the strategy and invite people to come and, like, we don't need a seminar to sell someone into coaching, So
what we realised is, because that's how we built the business, people thought we just run events. A lot of people didn't realise we actually did coaching. They just thought we run 2-day events, and that was what we did.
Yep.
Because no one ever saw any about coaching. I didn't see any advertising for that. So I mean, I remember one time in Sydney doing 3 or 4 back-to-back gym prezos to fill the next seminar in Sydney. So, yeah, that's when we switched. And good thing we did, because I think we switched it. By 2018, there was more of a equal blend of seminars and people signing up directly to coaching based on changing our strategy. 2019, we were well and truly heavily into not really having to rely on seminars. Then COVID hit, and we were fucking glad we did, because, if we were still running that model, it would have been a lot more of a panic or to trying to change how we did things. But by the time COVID, we really didn't need to do the seminars anymore if we didn't want to, and that's when we did scale back anyway. And COVID was really good for us, because we stopped running seminars altogether. There was no cost of travel, accommodation, seminar rooms, so our expenses went down by probably 30 grand while we were signing up even more people directly into coaching. So I've heard a lot of people say this, that COVID was a bit of a blessing, in that it kind of forced them into a space where, and then I think the general consumer or people in general were pushed online. Like a lot of their services, a lot of the ways that they acquired new clients, they were forced to adopt some form of digital model. Yeah, I mean, for us, it probably forced trainers to realise that I don't really have a business. It's very vulnerable. So it forced them to actually pay attention to more our ads. So we noticed that. We just didn't like it if someone was from Melbourne, because they had the really shit long lockdown, and Melbourne just wasn't a good time for those guys. But
yeah, that was atrocious. I guess the upswing was the fitness industry just spectacularly blew up on the back end of COVID. Yeah. Like gyms, subscriptions, all that sort of stuff, and consequently PT just went through the roof. So we had a cracker of a year on the back end of COVID.
Probably one of our best.
Yeah, based on
profit-wise.
Yeah. Because I remember back then it was our advertising costs were reasonably low, and but the fitness industry was going off. So if you were PT and you couldn't get a fucking client on the back end of COVID, you were fucking definitely doing something wrong. That's for sure.
And so, like, coming off the back of COVID, and then you've got a huge spike in the health and fitness industry. Where do you feel like we're at now in terms of being a PT on the gym floor, or you own a gym, or you've got a studio, or you've got an online fitness business? Like, what's changed?
I think what's changed is there's more options for the consumer. There's more options, which also means that you've got to keep up and adapt as a trainer. You can't just coast through, because people have a lot of choice, a lot of option, which that wasn't the case years ago. But in saying that, there's just more and more people wanting help. Be it online, accessibility, all that stuff, changed dramatically. So if you're a PT and you go, like, I love doing it in person, but I'd like to help more people and not just be bogged down to a face-to-face business. The world's your oyster if you're prepared to learn properly and know how to set it up right, and not just wing it and go, oh, I'm now an online trainer, but I'm not learning any of the skills that it takes to build an online business. Then you're going to be killing it. I mean, really.
And the other part is population. Percentage of the population that have gym memberships has grown dramatically. So if you go back 10, 15 years ago, it was a much smaller percentage, and depends on which stats you hear. But it might have been in the single digits. Maybe 5 to 7% of people. Now you're talking up to 20+% of people who have a gym membership. That stat alone is just, it blows you away, because there's so much more well accepted gyms on every fucking corner. Like you would think that because so many gyms, wouldn't they be going belly up? No, they're not. They're thriving because having a gym membership is accepted as what you would do. So there's that part, which is just leans into the fact that there's more people, and of course at the same time, people aren't getting any skinnier out there, right? So they're sticking more shit in their mouth. People are becoming more unhealthy, all the rest of it. So therefore, there's a massive demand for this. So this stuff ain't slowing down anytime, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's an interesting point. There's so many angles of which to attack why gyms are more successful than they ever have been. Because in my mind, I think I can see the trend. It's popular to be seen at the gym.
Yeah.
There's the social signal. And then there's also, you go to the doctor and he says, you're pre-diabetic, mate. Like, go to the fucking gym.
That's right.
And so off the back of off the back of all of these different vehicles that you've used to acquire clients, what have you seen change from a paid advertising point of view, let's just say over the last 5 to 8 years until now, this year? What are the biggest changes you've noticed?
Definitely, as more competition has come up, there, like the still ads and things that we used to do just don't work as well as they used to. That's for sure. I mean, for a long time, it'd be a still imaged ad. That's it. That speed to getting information has changed as well. Like, so there's like, I put my details in, I get an email, a PDF or something like that, and the amount of people that, when we do it, people who haven't read it, haven't opened it, whatever. I think that part, because people expect the information now.
Why do you think that is?
What do I think? I think just attention span and effort, all that stuff, are just in their mind. It seems too much. I want it now.
Right.
Like, look at chat. Like, I can get the information now. I want it now. So the biggest shift that we've noticed and we've seen is that now actually given some kind of mini lesson away in the ad itself, or video content is really key, rather than having to go and wait for an email or download. I think that still plays a part in it, but that's the biggest change that I've seen right now. So you got to be really, I mean, and this is credit to yourself, because what we were looking for is someone to help us with our creative. So you can't just do the old me too, same old still ads, and even the copy. It's like, you've got to have really good hook, you've got to have really good creatives, you've got to really, I mean, there's that cliche thing about standing out, but it is more important than ever now, because people's attention span's just so minute that it's just harder to get them to pay attention.
Especially for longer periods of time.
For longer periods of time. I mean, fuck, you only got to look at your Instagram, insights to go how quickly does someone stop watching a video of yours,
But then what I will say though is running a 54-minute skill show ad.
Yeah.
And why would someone spend that much time on an ad is no different in my mind to a long form YouTube video.
Yeah.
The whole idea of these longer form ads, not my idea, I got it from Sam Ovens years ago, and I saw him run a 25-minute Facebook ad, and it was just a video of him delivering a seminar back in the day when he ran consulting.com.
Yep.
And I was like, immediately the roof on my limiting belief of how long an ad could go for was just blown to smithereens. I was like, okay. And so I started testing a lot of these different length of videos. So what I love about that statement, and yes, I absolutely believe that people's attention spans have dwindled, but if your content is educational and it's valuable and it's actually tangibly useful and someone can walk away and execute with it and get a quick win, they'll stick around for 54 minutes on a Facebook ad. I think it's beautiful. And
I was teaching this to our guys the other day, going, because they get caught up in how long the copy should be or the video should be, and it's back to what you're saying then. It's how it's done that matters. Like, if you're doing it in a specific way, then people are going to stick around and watch it. If it adds real value and it's done well, doesn't matter if it's a 10-second or a minute or an hour. If it's done right, people are going to watch it.
I think so. Like, if all they had to do was watch a 60-minute Facebook, extreme example, but watch a 60-minute video, and you started the hook with, somewhere in this 60-minute video, I'm going to drop a word, and if you get that word and you call me with this word, I'm going to give you a Rolls Royce Phantom.
Yeah, people are going to,
right?
They're going to watch it.
Yeah, extreme, but same sort of concept.
Well, but that's why we've got like over 130 podcasts now, and when we're talking to somebody and they're starting to quote stuff that you've talked about in the podcast, that's the best. And that's free, right? So we put a lot of time, energy, and effort to getting really our best content in these podcasts. We don't hold back. And when I'm doing a call, someone goes, yep, I've been watching your YouTube podcast, I've listened on Spotify or whatever, and I go, I love the part where you guys talk about pricing and all that. I go, job done.
Right.
Job done. The heavy lifting's done. I'm not here to try to convince you that I'm an expert and I'm a guru. You've been listening to our content. That's done the heavy lifting.
The thing I love about that is, in my mind, especially with our solar business, it's just everyone's so skeptical whether solar even works.
Yep.
And for our ads to do such a good job that it makes our sales team's job easier, literally trying to get them to take orders instead of having to sell, is that whole concept of what you just talked about is trying to simplify that and sweeten and shorten it down into the first impression of the Facebook or Instagram ad that they see. You know?
And that's coming back to what you were saying. What's changed is you've got to give more. You've got to be better at what you do to get the leads. Again, you can't just be lazy and put up an ad and think that's going to do all the work for you. You know, like you got to be the authority. You got to put out real good value and content. And if we're speaking to someone and they go, "Nah, I've not heard about you guys. I haven't looked at anything and all that," we'll slow the process down. This is even in the sales consult. By the time I turn up to our next appointment, I want you to have listened to this podcast and this, because it's really important for you to get an indication of us. Do you like us? Do you like our style? Because you'll get plenty out of listening to this podcast. Send them case studies, success stories, all that stuff as well. But they expect you to send your good ones. Like, you know, they're not,
of course.
But if people have turned up and they've actually watched the video, they've consumed some content. I go, my job is not to convince you, Brad. My job is to put in front of you what we're good at, so you can make your mind up before we even meet next.
I say it to all these people. I say, as much as we're checking you out and we're seeing if you're a good candidate for us, can we help you, all that sort of stuff, I want you to check us out, right? I want you to listen to the stuff. I want you to get prepared to go, do I resonate with these guys' message? Does it make sense to me? Do I like the concept behind it? Because
check out the Google reviews, you know, the whole bit.
We're not the perfect coach for everybody, right? But for the right candidate, the right people, then you will be. And back to what you said about the podcast, people turn up and we've got certain sayings that we'll say, and one of them might be, I might say to someone, look, you're about to run a marathon. This is not a 100-meter sprint. We turn up into a meeting and we actually hear people verbatim say the words that they say, well, I know this is not a marathon. I know this is a marathon, not a 100-meter sprint. We go, he's listened to the podcast.
That's beautiful. Hey, it's interesting. Like on those 2 points, case studies, testimonials, reviews, or educational, valuable content. What do you choose?
Which one? If
you
only
had
one.
to.
Gun to your head.
Gun to your head.
I'd start education. Yeah. We just, I mean, it's me personally, I think of our philosophy of running the workshop, the seminar, everything we've done to build this business. We were always educate first, and it's like we got knowledge to share, and we want to share it. And whether you work with us or not, if you heard something and you take it away and you go, yep, I can put that into play, that actually helped me. So we had a guy in the States who he got the book. He ordered the book by mail order on fucking some website, right? The physical copy of it. And then years later, never become a client or anything, messaged us and he goes, man, I've read your book. I started off as a solo trainer. Now I've got a gym. I've got a team of 9 trainers, and he credits everything just to that one book.
So like $500,000 a year or something.
That's legit.
So that's a great example of it. But we also know for a lot of people, it's you know, they're going to want help, right? So,
so the education as opposed to testimonials and reviews from an advertising standpoint, from what I've observed has been the way in which you present in a paid ad, Facebook or Instagram, testimonials and review is the most important. Even if it's a glowing review, I paid these guys this much and I earned 30 times more in the first 90 days. Like that's a glowing review. Never mind the personal transformation and development that happens. But the way that you present that, even just the format, is probably more important than ever, because then, like when I think about all of the ads that I used to run, was literally just a screenshot of Google reviews, Facebook reviews, a text message that someone sent me. And I got that idea from someone else. And then they got it from someone else. And hey, presto, there's 20 million businesses in the US all running the same kind of social proof testimonial ad. And so the problem that I observed was I've got a really good review, but it doesn't stand out. And so I think coming back to what you said earlier, you can be really good at what you do. I think the reframe should be extracting your zone of genius and teaching it. At least from the advertiser's perspective, that seems to be the unlock. Yes, the copywriting and how you present that on camera, but then how do you go about extracting your zone of genius? Because I would say most personal trainers, health coaches, online fitness coaches, gym owners, they're pretty good at what they do. Like business coaches are pretty good at what they do. That then how they go about presenting that in a video ad and using a skill show or a sketchbook or anything like that seems to be the challenge. And having someone in your corner to extract all of that information out of your brain, potentially even ask the right questions, this would be a good idea for a GPT to create. This is a great idea for a GPT to extract all of that really nuanced knowledge that only you know, so that when you do give the keys to someone to drive the car that you've built, they have an idea of how to drive it effectively.
Well, it's like the workshop we did in Brizzy, where it was about doing video content, but it all stemmed back to how do you get, we helped them go through a series of questions and ask and use chat to then get the final product. But it was about how to do video really impactful. So, what you just said, how do you really get what you do and put it into a video content? So that was one example of it, doing just that. Not just, hi, I'm Jason. Yeah, I'm a personal trainer at Fitness First. I've been doing it for 20 years. It was actually going down, no, what do you actually do? What do you deliver as a transformation? How does that occur? Who are you talking to? Who are you speaking to? So I agree 100%. So how to get that across is the challenging thing for most.
Right.
So how do I actually get that message across?
Right. Right.
No matter if it's written, verbal, whatever.
So when you're teaching your students how to get more clients, you've got non-paid and paid. What are the non-paids?
Sorry, what was the question?
Let's say you've got a new client that comes into THQ.
New client,
Yep, and you've evaluated their business, where they're at. They're a really good fit, and their first question is, let's just say you've evaluated them and you agree with them. I need more clients. Like, what's the first thing you're looking for, telling them to go out and do?
Oh, so you're talking about lead gen methods that are non-paid?
Non-paid first, and then segue into paid.
Yeah, sweet. I guess from the non-paid perspective, it's first of all going through and going, what's sitting right under your nose, right? So like I'm a PT underneath the roof of a gym, for example, to go, okay, cool. How many people have you had an initial consult or a call with, right? And you've gone, there's a bunch of people, and there can be a bit of a psychology or a mentality to go, missed out on one, I'm on to the next one, I'm on to the next one. But over that time, there might have been at that gym for 2 or 3 years and built up a list, and which is probably sitting somewhere untouched of 100, 200 people, right? And we go, you can't tell me that inside that group of 100 people, there's 1, 2 or 3 people that could be a prospective candidate, so.
Easy for you to say.
And so that's one example, right? And then we go, okay, second example might be, all right, well, we want to, let's say, prospect the gym floor, right? Major old school method, right? And people go, fuck that, I'm not going to walk the gym floor and interrupt people and every other limiting belief that you got. Because the psychology is you got to walk up to somebody, interrupt them, they got the headphones on, whatever's happening in this day and age, all that sort of shit, and then try and convince them to do something like, do a session or whatever. And you go, well, you could break that down even and make it so simple. It could be like, hey man, I've developed XYZ and I want to give it away to a bunch of gym members. You look like you're here because you want to increase muscle. I've pieced together a quad, my quad speciality workout, and I want to share it with a few people. Would you like me to share it with you? That's an example of it. So I guess from that perspective, it's like, let's just find what you could do, which is low hanging fruit, which is an easy task to do. Easy to not do if you don't get off your ass and actually do something.
Fair.
Yeah, and this list, that we could sit down and talk about 100 different ways we could do it.
I was going to say, it's interrupting them scrolling on social media. Excuse me, I just didn't mean to interrupt you scrolling. It used to be, I didn't mean to interrupt your workout. Now it's like, I sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you scrolling on Facebook in between your sets, but have you got a sec?
True.
That's what it is now.
So non-paid and then paid options.
Again, it probably depends on where they're at and their business model. Like Brad's, the example of underneath the gym might not be the first option we go to unless they want to build online. But the paid option would be, again, Facebook ads. So it'd be Facebook ads, potentially looking at their social media Content, making sure their bio's done right, their call to action in their bio's done right, and maybe boosting some ads just to get some DMs going. So very basic, simple. Then we've got some other things where it's just maybe a 3-step funnel where they could be placing some ads to get some kind of free lead magnet that then takes them through to another page where there's a video that's done in the right way to get them to book their own discovery call. So there's some other ones that we've been doing with our clients. So again, depends if they're building online or in person. It could change the strategy a little bit. But it would definitely be Facebook and Instagram related.
Yep.
Yeah, and it all completely depends on where someone's at, i.e. where are they at in business, what's their revenue, what's their turnover, what are their short and medium term goals. So for some people, we'll go, look, in our opinion, what you need to do is you need to do it, get resourceful enough to turn, to add $1,000 of revenue to this business so that you can put yourself in a position before you start some paid ads and so forth, right?
Right. This is why that blueprint and discovery is so important.
Critical. Right. Yeah. And that's what we clearly identify. And we've got a large portion of people who do join Trainer HQ who are either brand new, haven't launched yet, or are within their first 12 months. And I couldn't tell you the exact number, but I reckon it'd have to be 30% of people that are joining our coaching program would be either haven't launched or I'm within my first 12 months of business. And what the benefit to us or the change we've seen is that's shifted, in my opinion. I believe that we've got a consumer now, our type of clientele, who are recognizing the need to get expert help and to go, fuck, if I'm going to do this online coaching thing or this personal training thing or whatever, I got to get help from day one. I got to do it right, And I look at the analogy behind people that go into bodybuilding and body shaping comps. Now we're ex-bodybuilders from many, many moons ago, and back then we didn't have a prep coach that we paid money for, did we? So we actually did our first bodybuilding comp together when we were 15 years old, and back then it was just the big guy in the gym would just write down on a bit of paper what to eat, right? But now the multitudes of people that go into these physique competitions and all the rest of it, just about every single one of them has a prep coach that they pay decent money for, right?
Like a posing coach, the whole bit.
All the rest of it, right? So what I'm saying is that to the standard is to go into a comp, to put yourself up on stage, you need to have a coach, right? And I've seen a similar analogy, in my opinion, in the business coaching space. I've seen for people entering the industry going, fuck spending 5, 7, 10 years trying to figure this shit out. Let's do it in 12 months or less.
I heard a really good analogy, speaking of analogies, and it was at a conference I was at recently. And the guy said at the end of the presentation, had his pitch, really solid pitch. And at the end of it, he's basically like, look, have you guys been to Disney World or Disneyland? Everyone's like, yeah, we've been to Disneyland before. And he's like, you know how you can line up behind everyone and all their families and you might wait for like 45 minutes? And then you've got this other lane here that you can pay $100 for and you can skip the line. For all of you that want everything for free, like this is what my organic content is for, my PDFs, my lead magnets, my YouTube, my podcast, that's there for you guys. For those of you that want to pay to get the result faster and skip, this is what I have this for. And that stuck with me. I was like, that is beautiful. I didn't sign up. That was beautiful. That was my main takeaway. On the point of discovery calls, I've always found it really fascinating. Just the word discovery call bleeds sales call. But the discovery call is so important because you have to identify, number one, whether you can genuinely help someone and then ask the right questions to get to that point of, well, actually, based on what you've told me and where you're at, I think this program's really good, or I think this program's really good for you. Or if I can't help you, here's this podcast episode or this YouTube episode or this Instagram post that will solve your exact problem where you're at right now, right? So they get a win regardless when you really think about it. And that discovery call is so important for that reason. Like even back in the day when I started taking on clients and I was segueing out of fitness and I was going into advertising full time, I was taking people on that I didn't really understand exactly how it was going to work, but I would mention that up front. Like my first client was a fucking guy who sold sailing boat sails, manufactured them in Perth. And that was the first client. He had a shitty little Weebly website. We're advertising to Germany, which I'd never done before. And I was like, Matt was his name. I was like, Matt, man, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Like, it makes sense to me because of everything you've mentioned. You've got a high price point. You've got big, nice, juicy margins. So you've got a bit of room to move here. And it was honestly shit luck. Like within 2 weeks, he made his first sale. And I was like, I'm fucking glad that worked, you know? But then that was a positive learning lesson for me. So I'm like, okay, this has got to get really, really, there's a lot of nuances to paid advertising, but I've got to get very, very in depth with the sort of questions I need to ask to take someone, in my mind, to a confidence level of can I get them result from a 1 to a 10? And then if I can get to that spot where, in my mind, if I owned their business, I could 1, generate leads, and 2, sell those leads. And I'm like, yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so good. It's fascinating.
The current vehicles, campaigns, and ads, or say offers that you guys run at the moment. So you've got a couple of lead magnets. Every now and again, once a month or once every 2 months, you do a webinar. Every now and again, you'll do an in-person event, workshop, seminar. And then you've got DM funnels. And now you've got direct call booking funnels. Like, over the years, obviously you're heavy on lead magnets and online seminars and in-person seminars. Like, what made you consider these other vehicles? Like, are you seeing other things? Are you consuming content? Are you seeing what other people are doing and like, oh, I'll try that, and you validate them that way? Or how do you what's your decision-making process to trying new vehicles for client acquisition?
I'd say we've observed, and we've spoken to a lot of people coming through our pipelines and funnels who have got some familiarity, and we go, how'd you find out about Trainer HQ? Oh, a friend of mine followed you guys on Instagram, and, you know, I respect what they do. And so, or heard the podcast, all that sort of stuff. So there is some, and I think the time in the game that we've had has also swung to our advantage. So consequently, for us to be able to run some type of direct type of, hey, book a call or whatever it might be, in my opinion, that's the strength behind that. That's one part. Over to the lead magnet part, we're still heavily based around let's give first, let's give away and show, you know, how good we are, our experience, what we can do, how we can help by sharing some of this wisdom and knowledge that we've, you know, spent all these years doing, and the experience that we've had.
And also, like, seeing other people that we respect and admire from different industries doing a particular style of lead gen and funnel, and going, I've been through it, I liked it, I can see the psychology of it, and then going, that could be definitely something we would implement into our business. So that is one way that we'd also, I think that was your question, like, you know, do you see other people out there doing stuff? But I think because we understand the back end and we understand the process of it, that's why we feel confident to do it, because we've learned all this stuff anyway. We might just go, I like that approach. I went through it. I go, I can see how that works. But you have to understand, like we were talking earlier, you can't just, someone might see our ad, go, I'll copy that, but they've got no understanding about the behind the scenes and the follow up and the nurture, and, you know, like you said, the discovery call. I think it doesn't matter what you call it, 90-day, you know, studio rescue or whatever you call it. It's still, people are still going to go, it's still a call, regardless of what you call it. It's still a call. But then how do you navigate that? What's the first things that come out of your mouth when you do speak to somebody? People don't really get all the back bit. They only see the front end.
It kind of lends itself to maybe we shouldn't be copying each other's ads, you know? It's like, I really do believe that, I mean, I'll take a step back. When we started the solar business, that's the first thing we did, because we didn't know any different. And we're like, okay, well, there's these solar companies spending $100,000 a week. And we look into their ads library, and they've been running some static image ads for years. Like, surely this is a good idea. Like, surely this is validated. This is proven, else why would they run them for years and spend $100,000 a week on them? But then we copied them and they didn't work. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that it doesn't work. It's that I don't know how to drive it, you know? And that was kind of
so much more to it.
Yeah. That's it's a bit of pill to kind of swallow, but it's also very empowering to take back control of what you are or are not doing. Yeah.
We talk about seminars like when we're in the in-person webinars, I ask the question, why do most fitness professionals struggle at marketing or whatever like that? Because it's monkey see, monkey do. They'll come in and go, everything from discounting to free trials and all the rest. I go, why did you decide to do the free trials? Because I'm not against free trials, but what's your strategy behind it? I don't know. I just saw everyone else doing it.
Right.
So I go, okay, so there's no actual method to it. You just, because everyone else is doing free trials, that's what you will do. You don't have a plan to try to get that person upsold straight away or converted straight away. Oh no, I just sort of do a 14-day free trial. And then what happens at the end? I don't know, some people sign up, some people don't. So you got no strategy.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you just copied somebody without knowing what they're actually doing.
It's like what you alluded to earlier, not knowing what's happening on the back end.
Yeah, it's like, again, people go, what do you think about free trials? I go, I don't have an opinion about it. I have an opinion about the strategy you're going to use to do it. If it's a way to get people in, because you've got a really good upselling process and your process from after that point, when you got the lead, is fucking watertight. If you show me all the stats, I go, yeah, keep doing that. But if you just copied somebody because you just think that's what everyone else is doing, and I've seen people give away, 21-day trials, and I go, what, you're going 21 days to hopefully get a sale at the end, and that's how you do it? And they go, yeah. I'm going, that's crap. That's not a good business model at all, or a good way to do it. So it's pretty quickly you can see if someone knows why they're doing a particular lead gen strategy, or they've just copied somebody.
Speaking of copying, like the amount of times I've seen lead magnets just blatantly copied nearly word for word, but then a rebranded headline or landing page, And I do think, and some of the stuff that I've observed from the paid ads front, is one of the easiest ways to elicit a better response, build trust faster, and educate and give tangible value faster, is to take a lot of those lead magnets and put them into your video format. Your Skillshare ad type, or maybe you're writing on the page like your guy's sketchbook ad type. And so a lot of PTs, trainers, health professionals, gym owners, everyone in between, and everyone outside of that health and fitness industry have probably got a lead magnet. And if all they did was reformat that into a video ad, or delivering it talking head or a sketchbook, or however they want to deliver it, that's an immediate way to differentiate themselves from not just competitors, but every other advertiser in the feed, because then now they're not asking for anything up front. One of the things I think people forget about is when you're running a really crappy static stock image ad and you're sending people to a landing page and you're asking for their contact details in return for the value, the PDF, which, let's be honest, they may not read. It's so much asking them to click, to consume, to give details, and then click and down, and then read the damn thing.
It's a lot of effort.
It's a fair whack of effort in 2025 and the next 5 years onwards, and it's probably going to be even more.
That's a better way to say it in 2025, because it's not really a lot of effort, but
of course.
But in this day and age, it's like, really? I got to do all that?
It's interesting. And so like the whole concept of lead magnets, which is really, so our lead magnet for the solar business way back when it was 6 years ago, was this 5-part video series on the inverters, on the panels, on the warranties, on the all that stuff, right? And they were about 7-minute videos each.
Right.
And then all we did back then was just take that, simplify it down into, I think it was a 5.5-minute video. And that blew up. That was one of our best performing ads for about 2 years. And I was like, okay, so this is proven. Maybe people don't want to consume that much, or maybe the way that we're delivering it isn't engaging or valuable enough. Let's take the most high impactful parts of this lead magnet, regardless of the format, and give it to them on the first impression that they see us in a Facebook or an Instagram feed.
Yeah, well, that's where we were told about you, but then I'd already been seeing your ads pop up. So everything you were just talking about then, that's what got my curiosity and attention to go, I like the way that you're positioning yourself, I like the way that you're coming across. I liked your style with it. And it just happened to be that we also, we recommend you by JD, which then maybe even pay more attention. But JD didn't mention it. I go, I think I've seen some of Rev's stuff, and then, of course, how it works, I started seeing a lot of your stuff, and then that prompted me to go, actually, we need to get in contact, with you. So there was plenty of value there. It was like, like the way your creatives are getting done, just standing out. So then, I'm looking at that going, I think this guy could be the guy to help us.
I just refuse to believe that the advertising space as an agency was competitive. Yes, saturated, but I just refuse to believe that it's competitive. I'm like, okay, well, what is my competitive advantage? I will give away everything that I know for free where other people are charging for it. That's not even my thing.
Yeah.
It's not mine. I was like, that makes sense. That's easy. I know a lot about this stuff. I'll just give it all away. And the crazy thing to me is, like, my organic Instagram presence really hasn't taken off until about 4 months ago, and I've had that account for years because my content sucks. It sucked, and now it's just a little bit better. But by giving away a lot of these valuable points, and the way I measure the valuable points is comments. Most people will send me some form of a DM. It's like, love your content, blah blah blah, and they're making the effort to just send me that DM from that post, and then I use that to fill up my next round of organic posts. And so now I'm on this feedback loop of what do people tell me they think is valuable, and I'll make organic content around that, and then I'll rip that across to paid advertising for retargeting or cold ads and all that kind of stuff. And that strategy, not even mine, that's Gary Vee's strategy from years ago, jab, 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 right hook. But that has just been such a banging paid ad strategy. If you start like the organic stuff and then you rip the proven stuff across for paid ads.
Well, that's back to when you asked about a strategy. We had this thing, boost the bookings, where it was that, like, get your content that's organic, that's going really well, people are loving, and then as a very simple strategy is just like then boost it to get it out greater reach for the call to action. Very simple. Grow your followers, but also have a chance to start more conversations, and it's worked really well for a lot of our guys. Nothing crazy, but it also says that you're getting your content to the point where it is engaging. It is building trust and value that people are commenting or liking or DMing you. So then you go, okay, right now it makes sense. Why don't you spread that out to more people?
And also an opportunity for clients who have a low advertising budget to dip their toe in the water with some ad spend and so forth, because you could
boosting it for $3, $4, $5 a day or whatever it is. So
it's like, oh, okay, cool. So I now can dabble, and then I can test and measure and see what sort of response it gets, and go, okay, cool. I've just created a conversation which, convert one client, and you go, well, that's certainly well and truly paid for itself, right? So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, and that's where it starts getting exciting for some people, because they see the end result of that,
It's interesting because I think, like, if you really boil it down, if someone had to come up with a minimum $1,000 a month to run Facebook ads, which is enough for most people, at least in Australia, they could probably find $1,000. Most people. But I feel as though I haven't seen it work yet, so this is kind of scary. And so they haven't had the belief or the observation that it can work. So
or whether the evidence,
Exactly. Evidence. That's a good word for it. And so whether it's you guys or me or anyone else that tells them this works, this is exactly how it works, and here's all the social proof, and here's exactly how to do it, there's still that initial block of they haven't been rewarded for the behavior yet. Same as organic. And where I'm segueing with this is I've always hated posting organically on Instagram until some stuff started to blow up. And then I enjoyed it. And now I don't mind it.
Well, you get the dopamine reinforcement, because you want to be rewarded, right? That's just in our DNA.
Of course, but I was posting for 3 or 4 years and not getting shit.
that's the thing, right?
Because my content sucked.
Most people give up way too quick. So we hear it all the time. I tried some Facebook ads, I didn't really get anything from it. And then you go, well, show us what you do. And I go, I'm not surprised.
And that's the thing about content too, because so many people we speak to, before they become a client of ours, they've got zero content strategy. What are they doing? They're throwing up some stuff on Insta because I know I should be posting something. So what am I going to do? I'm going to throw up a video of my workout, something else. Here's my meal, here's my breakfast, all that sort of stuff. And hey, if that's part of a proven content strategy, then go for it. But for most people, they got zero strategy and they're confused, right? And it's actually really relieving when they come on board, because they actually see, so you guys are going to teach us like what pillars I need to focus on, how I need to structure this, what things I need to have, where do I have a call to action, all the rest of it. And it's actually quite liberating for people. But on the flip side, what do we see? completely the opposite, and consequently people are just flying blindly, wasting time. How many conversations we have with people, we go, yeah, I'm sitting there spending an hour putting together a reel, whoop-de-fucking-do, It's like, it's that shit blows us away,
Well, it's funny. I'll speak to that because I think I was posting talking head videos and video recordings of some of my consultations of discovery calls, and I would get one of my editors to cherry pick what I thought was high impact points, and I would post them. I was like, I guess and I just got to the point where I realized I think I'm just going to get 300 views per video for the rest of my life, but I'll keep posting because it seems like the right thing to do. And then it was by sheer luck that something actually took off. And off the back of that, I was like, okay. And that was the learning. And then I got rewarded. And then I was much more ingrained with it. And I think advertising is the same, at least understanding the ads that you can run and the scary hump or reframing you have to overcome before being rewarded for it.
Yeah, I mean, so many times we'd put content out and go, this is going to be a killer. This is so good in our mind. And it's like, shit, it's just nothing, Yeah. And then we do something, we go, that's all right. And then it'd go off and we'd go, fucking what?
Yeah.
So, you can sit there and overanalyze it and think, oh, this is going to be amazing. But you put it out there and for whatever reason, it doesn't work or doesn't land or get the response. And then we'll post something fucking that, with no real thought into it or no real intentions. And it goes, shit, that thing just went off. So you don't know sometimes. That's why the whole thing test and measure, test and measure.
Absolutely.